Good night, good night, good night. Let me see. Good night, everyone. It's 7 p.m. on the dot, and it is time for Face It and Fix It. So, as it's customary, let me introduce myself for those who are going to tune in for the first time. My name is Lucia Cabrera Jones, one of the co-founders and CEO of Women-Owned Media and Education Network, and this is Thursday, 7 p.m. I am here with you to bring you another epic episode of Face It and Fix It. This is the space that women have to actually tear apart of the lies that set us captive. This is an opportunity where we unmask all the issues that hold us back from moving forward. And tonight's episode will be dealing with a topic that we would have started last month when we actually was about to launch this campaign that's talking about eradicating period poverty. So I know that Facebook have to take a little time actually to start to send the notifications out there that we are live. And in the meantime, while you that are ready tuning in, start to send your private notifications to the women that you know will be actually impact for this epic episode. I am going to come on my next device. As you know, I always making sure that we are live and that we are live in the right page at the right time, and of course to start to send out some notifications also to some people that might be right now trying to remember at what time we are going to be on. So you have to let them know that we are live right now. So let me see if you are tuning in. I seen some people already start to tune in, and if you are there, of course, let me know where are you tuning from. Let me know what is your name so I could say good night to you. I could say hello to you. You know, I could ask you how are you going, and I could acknowledge you. So tonight will be so epic and so special. We are going to be dealing with a topic that is really, really dear to my heart, and we're talking about eradicating period poverty. If you have been tuning into our social media, you would have noticed that we have been a whole entire month, the entire month of August, campaigning to eradicate period poverty. I always say as well that period poverty is not just about celebrating one day in a year, but eradicating period poverty is an ongoing matter. This issue is so serious, right? That it is about uh, um, a continuous effort to eradicate period poverty. But I am not going to be the person who will be actually giving you more information and more criteria and more details about the work that we have been doing to eradicate period poverty. But we have a super dynamic guest tonight. And what could I tell you about this amazing lady that actually God had the you know, the mercy to connect me with? This woman is CEO and co-founder of the organization that actually partner with women in this noble mission of eradicating period poverty. She's a highly sought after speaker. She's also an author and personal development coach. This is all I want to say on my own, because I want to give this amazing lady, Karla Scipio, the opportunity to introduce herself even more to our audience. Good night, Karla.
Good night, Lucia. Thank you so much for having me. You said you wanted me to introduce myself. I want to let everyone know that I am from Trinidad and Tobago.
So we have Trinidad in the
And
house.
Right. So I'm a Trimble Begonian. That's how they say it. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I am a woman who is passionate about empowering other women to grow, to be the best selves, to find out who they are, and to do what they were created to do, what they were born to do. And that means tackling issues that no one else wants to address. That means speaking up for those women that are voiceless and are afraid and don't have the voice or the capability to stand up and fight for themselves. So, in a nutshell, that's just a little bit about me.
That is amazing, Carla. And right now, I just want to bring up your information here because I know that there will be a lot of people that will want to connect with you. And right there is the information. Um, you could just follow Carla in Instagram. You could check Carla websites, personal websites, also her business websites. And we have a Trimegonian in the house, and it is a privilege to see how we could actually connect with people who are doing amazing things still for the women in Trinidad and Tobago, although they are not longer living in Trinidad. So for me, it's like amazing, Carla. Let me just tell you guys a little bit of how I would have encountered Carla, right? It is not a secret for you that we are very, very active in social media, and I personally love to see what is going on, and see people who are doing things for women and actually connect. So they have this person in social media who actually shares story, collecting donations to help poor people, and really, really, that spoke to me. I reached out to the person, we had a little conversation, and lo and behold, less than 5 minutes after I put down the conversation with this person, I get a call. May I speak with Lucia Jones? Speaking. My name is Karla Scipio. Tell us a little bit about that, Carla. We have some people coming in, and we have to say good night to Marley Mascal. Oh, thank you for coming in. Marley, where are you tuning from? Tell us. And then we also have Natalie Medina. Good night, Natalie. Tell the people where are you tuning from. And Carla, you start telling us what happened, how we really connected.
Lucia, I believe in divine connections. I believe that God connects us with certain individuals that we're supposed to do life with, and we're supposed to change, collaborate and partner with. But it's really interesting because there's a lady that we both know in common. I actually, help her by sending period pads, and, personal hygiene products, clothes, because she actually works in the community and she has such a heart and passion. And she called me, she said, this lady reached out to me on Facebook because I was asking for help for the young women in the community. She said she can help me, but can you talk to her for me? I said, can I talk to her for you? She said, yeah. I told her that you're going to call her, that you will be my spokesperson. So I called her, and we started talking about the different things. And I realized that we had, like-minded, we were like-minded individuals, and there were certain things that we had in common. And our commonality was the fact that we loved helping others. We love making it happen. And then we both have this warrior spirit where we're gonna come out there, we're gonna fight to make something happen. And that's how we started talking.
Awesome, and I really, Carla, I really thank God for you to actually, taking that step of reaching out to us, because great things have happened, and we have more people coming in. I want you to tell me where are you tuning from. So we have, okay, Marlene Mascal, she is tuning in from Trinidad. Awesome. And Marlene is one of our thriving ladies. We have all our thrivers here. We also have Natalie Medina. She's tuning in from Arima in Trinidad as well. So we have a good bit of them. I am seeing others, but if you're not telling me where are you tuning from, I cannot say hi to you. And I remind you, we are here talking with Miss Karla Scipio, born Trinidadian and living now in the United States. You could get in touch with her, right? But I am really, Carla, thankful, for you reaching out to us, and I am thankful even further. We have somebody else tuning in. Good night from Trinidad, right? Vijanti. Well, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, and I really thank God for the heart that you have. Um, it only took one conversation to really know that you mean what you spoke, right? And for me, as I could say right now, the rest have been history. And you are a key player in this campaign, right? Our campaign, Hello Beautiful. And a lot of people are asking me, and beautiful. Lucia, you are so creative. You ladies and women, wow, that name. But I want to publicly say here that this name was not my idea. I want to acknowledge also in our midst, Trisha McIntosh. Oh my God, good night. Trisha from Trinidad and Tobago. And this is another powerhouse. We will have her sometime here with us. Trisha, thank you for tuning in, share this live. And people start to this beautiful. Lucia, where you get this name? And today I have to publicly say, because I have been saying it privately, Hello Beautiful is not a name that we came up with. Hello Beautiful is actually one of Karla Scipio projects back in the States. And we just extending this project to Trinidad and Tobago. So Karla, I want you to be the one to tell us a little more about what Hello Beautiful is about. What do you do within the Hello Beautiful project?
Well, hello, beautiful. Be beautiful. Actually, the word be beautiful was coined. It was an affirmation by one of my students, probably about 15 years ago, on when I worked on a small college campus. And it was about women who were rejected, dejected, not loved. And we wanted to let everyone know, hey, you are beautiful. No matter how tall you are, short you are, old you are, dark, light, green, yellow, whatever color you are beautiful the way that you were made. So it was a project to share in the world, and it still is, hello, beautiful, that, hey, when we see you, we're like, hello, beautiful, and you know that you are beautiful. So we work with women to encourage them, to inspire them, to help them heal from rejection and dejection. And then it's kind of like similar to when you think about mental health, where there's stigma, there's sexism, there's so many negativity, um, so much negativity as it relates that surrounds menstrual health, even from women themselves. So it goes hand in hand with being beautiful.
And that makes
If that
sense.
makes a little sense.
That makes a lot of sense, and we are so proud and privileged that you would have choose our organization. And it's only because the things that you saw that we was doing is because even I could have explained to you, all the things that we as organization would have been doing here in Trinidad and Tobago. But it takes, and that is why PR and social media is so important when you use it the right way. I always say that, yes, I love social media. And one of the things why I love social media in the positive direction is for accountability. So I will encourage anyone, let us know what you are doing. Let us know where you need help. We are an organization, Women on Media and Education Network. Our mission is you. Our mission is empowering you. Our mission is to make you a better person or help you to become a better person. And we do that through collaborations. We are, this is not a one woman or two woman organization. This is women organization. So, Karla, I mean, so glad that you really trusted our organization. And we have, wow, welcome Shirley. And Shirley is one of our Shirley is one of our influencers that
Yeah.
is actually taking part in this campaign. And Shirley, I welcome you. And let me tell you, Shirley, I want you to get ready because I could be inviting you to join us at any point of time. So I let you know way early in the interview. So don't tell me you are not ready to come on camera, right? Because at some point I really want you, Shirley have amazing testimonies already coming out of this campaign, because this campaign was designed with you in mind, ladies. So right now, if you have not done so, share this live, because we are hearing from Karla Scipio, which is the one of the key players in this Hello Beautiful campaign. You have already heard what Karla is doing, and it's beyond borders, right? It is beyond borders. Karla is living in the States, but Karla is a born Trini, right? So she have this passion. Karla, I want you to also tell us a little bit about what do you do with women in the state as part of your mission, as part of your NGO, and tell us a little bit about the Born Educators Academy.
Well, let me start by telling you who is the Born Educators Academy and how it came about. Um, born in Trinity, born in Trinidad, and my grandmother, and I'm a storyteller. So if you don't know me, you'll know now that I'm a storyteller. And as my godparents, she chose a lot of educators. They were all teachers. But yet still I chose to go into the field of nursing. And as a nurse, I come in contact with countless women who weren't given the tools and the resources, and the women that had expectations for them to do well and to do it. And as a nurse, I'll never forget, I had a 19-year-old patient that came in, and she had 5 C-sections. And I knew that I had to do something. I needed to get to the women out in the field before they came back to have all of these babies. And when I finally got through with working in the front, I went to the part where in the beginning, before they got pregnant, I was able to work in a community center that showed me and really showed me what my path was to help women. So, teaching them, connecting them to the resources in the community, giving them the tools that they need. Simple things like how to get an ID card, things that we take for granted. They had no one to teach them how to get the the light turned on in your name. And that's how my passion came about. And that's why I realized at one point that, hey, I like educating people. I like teaching. I like workshops. I love personal development. So I'm going to have a nonprofit. And the name of my nonprofit is that I'm a born educator. So the Born Educators. And that's how we came about.
What are the activities that you have embarked in this journey of the Born Educators Academy?
I've done so much. I've been working on college campuses as a nurse educator and also a coordinator of a peer education department. And that's where I honed my skills, how to start an NGO, what are the tools, how to collaborate and how to partner. And out of that came my passion when I finally left and created my own academy was personal development, how to teach, how to reach. Especially my passion was I had a burden for single mothers and children. So how can I identify their needs and what can I do to help them? And women, like I said before, has always been my passion because there were women who poured into my life, and I wanted to pour back into the women's lives. So what I do now, I have events. As a matter of fact, I have an event coming up in October, and it's an intergenerational event, intergenerational conversations. You know, when we were younger, the older people would sit at the table, and then when they were talking about the juicy stuff that they needed to share with us, they would send us out of the room. So now we want to sit at the table and let the older women pour into the younger women. So those are some of the things that I'm doing. It's called the empowerment talks, and utilizing stories and words of wisdom and inspiration to help women heal. So that's where, my focus is kind of shifted. So that's where I'm actually focusing on now. It's more talking and more teaching, as
Amazing.
well as working with other organizations in the Caribbean and in Africa. Because I realize I keep getting so many connections where I'm doing different things. So those are some of the things that I do.
And we are glad that we are part of that journey to actually fulfill the mandate and the purpose that God have placed into your life. And Karla, I know that you have a passion for eradicating period poverty. Where this passion came from, we also know, and it's part of our campaign, that you wrote a journal, and the link, I put in this link now on the screen, right? You have a journal, right? It's a period journal. How this journal come about? Tell us a little bit about this.
It came about going right back to that college campus. That journal came about because in college you're supposed to be the cream of the crop. And I had so many students come in and didn't know anything about their bodies. They didn't know when they were ovulating. They didn't know when their period was supposed to come. They knew nothing. I'm like, they're not educating you guys at the school. Who's doing something? So I had a board that had the whole menstrual cycle, and I would teach them about the signs to look forward to, and to look to know when you're ovulating, when your cycle is going to come. The breast, everything as it relates to sexually transmitted diseases, everything. And out of that came the everything you need to know about yourself for little young girls. But I must say, I realized the need because I remember getting my cycle in Trinidad before I left, and I had no one to tell me in details what was going on with me. I remember my stepmother sending me to my grandmother, who showed me how to take the cloth and wrap it up and use that. And sometimes you would go get the Kotex, but no one told me. No one shared that with me. And I wanted to make sure that women knew about, because like I told the girls, I said, yeah, you can use birth control, but you also need to know about your body, what you can do, what you can do, when to do it, and when not to do it. So it's kind of like just having conversations, casual conversations like we're having now. That's how the journal was birthed.
And we really appreciate this journal. I want you ladies to know that Karla actually sent some of those journals here to Trinidad, and we have been in different events distributing those journals to teenagers, because it's journals that are made mostly to be used by teenagers. You will, if you go in our social media, you will see that we have been, we created a kit to give to our influencers, and this kit is actually a donation made by Karla Scipio and her organization, the Born Educators Academy. Karla, we don't have enough to thank you for doing so. Karla is committed. This is what the collaboration actually is about, to actually fight period poverty. We starting by fighting period poverty. We do this collaboration a whole year long, and in a regular basis as it is permitted. Karla will be sending this donation. We already received the first barrel. Ladies, we receive a barrel with period item. We even receive some
menstrual
cute,
cups,
cute item called menstrual
menstrual
cup.
cups.
Oh my God, I should have with me here for the program the journal and the parts and the period cup to show it. My bad, I didn't do that. But trust me, I will get a little chance to maybe go and grab some and come and show you. But we really, really thank you, Carla. We have been creating something what that we call emergency period kits, and it's actually putting together a kit, a menstrual emergency kit. The name says emergency. So we actually sorting out what Carla would have sent for us and doing packages. If you go in our social media, you will see how it works and distributed. We have been in different events, and if you are in Tobago, we are going to be in Tobago on the 30th of August. We are going to join IDB in the Share Faith, and we are going to be giving out those period kits as well. And so, Carla, you would have mentioned that you are not just in the Caribbean, you reach as far as Africa. I want you to tell us a little bit about what is your vision in eradicating period poverty beyond the Caribbean.
My vision started here in Georgia because I live in Georgia, and one of the things I realized that period personal hygiene products are expensive, and some of the ladies have to make a choice. Either they buy the pads, or they pay for food, or they pay the bills. There was one family that I know that there was three daughters. They had to make a choice who was going to go to school with pads because they couldn't afford to pay for the pads for everyone. When you look at that, the cost of the menstrual and how much it costs over a lifespan, this right there is painful. Then when you think about the stigma, they tax cigarettes. They also tax menstrual pads. And then when you look at the policy as it relates to menstrual pads were created by men, not women. So I became part of a large advocacy group here in Georgia that fought that period pads should be placed in every school, every elementary, middle, and high school, and that period pads on the campuses, those campuses should be free. But then when you look around the world, we live in places where they can't do anything. They shame you. You can't go to school because you don't have pads. You don't have, all you have is the cloth and the rags. So for me, it's not just about giving patients or giving the women and the girls period pads, but now how can we take that and empower them? So the next step is actually, I would say, the reusable pads. Because when you do your research and you look in different places, they're actually creating their own organic pads, or they're actually creating reusable products. And the most important thing that people fail to realize, and we have to look at the culture and the stigma, we're talking now about the menstrual cups. The menstrual cups is valuable because you can actually reuse it. You take it out, you wash it with water, just regular water, clean water, and you insert it again. But a lot of us as women are ashamed to touch our bodies. Well, we're taught to be ashamed to touch our bodies or to explore or even to hold the cup in the hand or even to have a conversation about our period, about our cycles. So for me, it's not just Trinidad and Tobago. It's not just the United States, the Caribbean or Africa, but actually changing and teaching women and girls how to advocate for themselves and how to be part of that process that makes the policy and the laws. So that's a fight right there.
And I'm glad that you touched on that, because in our last Face It and Fix It that would have been last month, we actually touched on that. So we talk about, are the governments really need to put their hands on this? What are the provisions and the considerations that they should have with us women when it comes to our period, right? And Carla, I have a surprise for you, because I know it will be a surprise for you. Carla, you have been seeing what have been happening in our social media. You have been looking at how the campaign is developing. Before I give you this surprise, I want you, Carla, because you have been so instrumental for this campaign. I want you to give us your impression about how the Hello Beautiful campaign going to eradicate period poverty. Give us your feedback.
First to begin with, I love your drive. I love the drive of the organization. I love the influencers, the social media tools, the different graphics that were used, the women sharing. I thought that was awesome. The fact that you had the guts to stand up, your organization stand up and say, "Hey, we need to have this conversation. We need to do something about it. We got the tools, we got the connections, we got the partnerships and the collaborations. Let's make it happen." I love that.
So, because you love that, and we love you, and we love all these lovely ladies that are live right now, and those who are going to catch the replay, we have invited to join us tonight one of the influencers from the campaign, Shelly
Thank you.
Spurgeon Tonfeli. Your mic is muted. I need you to unmute your mic. I need you to introduce yourself. And Carla, here is one of the influencers who have made so much justice to the period kits that you would have to send for us to distribute. Shelley
Good,
Fullerton.
good night, Carla. I'm so happy to
Good night.
meet you. Well, on live, thankful for this internet platform that we have. We don't need to cross borders physically. We can do so virtually. I'm
True.
very excited to be a part of this ending period poverty campaign, this Hello Beautiful campaign, because it means so much to me. You know, like growing up as a child, I wouldn't have had access to the necessities that we have now, and then the knowledge that I had back then. Well,
Mm.
I wouldn't, the knowledge is not as modern as now. And it's something I hold dear to my heart because I really believe that young girls should be educated in the whole aspect of menstrual necessities, the things you need, and personal hygiene. So I'm
Right.
happy to be a part of this Hello Beautiful campaign with women in collaboration, of course, with the Born Educators Academy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. You're doing an awesome job. You did a wonderful job. Just your sunshine smile in your face, and then you took your time and you explained all of that stuff. Like, okay, girl.
Thank you.
And and Shelly have been an actively using the kits. We have something that we don't want to disclose too much, because one thing lead to the other. And Carla, we are forever thankful that you actually open your heart to women, that you actually trust women to actually carry the name of Hello Beautiful, beyond what you actually doing with your organization. And I am glad that you are happy with what is happening, because it's beyond us, it's beyond Carla, it's beyond Lucia, it's beyond Shelley, it's beyond women, it's beyond the Bonds Educators Academy. We are organizations that we are created to serve you, the women. And and eventually, when she was interviewed, and also Leah, they were so open and so bold to talk about the challenges that they would have faced when they was smaller. So Shelly, if you don't mind, for the new ladies that actually tuning in, give us a little bit of what was some of those challenges that you would have encountered when you was younger, related periods, your little journey.
All right, all right. So, first of all, it's the education aspect of it. I was not put to sit down and thought about how I should take care of myself
Mm-hmm.
hygienically. And secondly, the access to the menstrual products had no access. And because that relationship wasn't there between the parents, I did what I thought I should do, what I have seen them doing. I have cut up old rags and used them and washed them, and I did that for 3 months without my mother knowing. And then she knew, and I was embarrassed about it. So the main thing is really about parents building relationship with their children and educating them. So, and I had embarrassing moments because I was not taught on how I should take care of myself. I've had some pretty embarrassing moments at home, at school, and the likes of it. And the men as well, they weren't so educated that a woman having her period, it's a normal thing. So when the woman has her period, you have to tiptoe around the man, and it's like they scorn you and they have to put you away. The real like ancient days behavior. So those are really like some of the experiences I would have had back then. No access to the period products and the education.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Karla, what have you to say, now that you have all these capabilities to assist women in, in this journey of periods? What in your understanding and your opinion, with all the work that you have done, all what you have seen, what do you think that are some of the things that we could have done now that we didn't do then to alleviate all of these issues of period poverty?
I think, like Shelley said, education. Because our stories, I'm not sure how much we're decades apart as it relates to age, and it seems like things hadn't changed since then, because what she just said is what I also experienced. So I think it's lack of education. I think also to our culture as it relates to the way that the women are treated. Because I remember my dad telling me that a woman can't cook food, and I mean there was so many things, so many taboos and stigmas associated with women that it was hard. So it's still the same thing I talked about, the lack of education. And sometimes the women themselves didn't know what to tell their daughters because they too went through the same thing. Then when we look at it too, we talk about, I see where being up to date on how things have changed and having someone that has the knowledge to take the time to educate and then get into the girls, the culture, like I said, the culture, the policy, the laws, being able to I think now we have more women in power, but we have to work on teaching. And I think you and I had this conversation about advocacy, teaching our young women how to stand up for themselves, how to advocate for themselves, what they can do, and how we can come together as a sisterhood, just like you and I did. It wasn't just one organization; it was three. It was women. It was the Born Educators Academy, and it was also Trinidad and Tobago Nurses, Registered Nurses Association. So it was three of us all coming together to make this happen. I still believe there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and that's why it's so important to take the wisdom that I have and share it with the younger women so they can grab the torch now and run with it.
It's important, and I really appreciate that. And we have been talking all of this, and I am glad that you actually mentioned the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association, because come up on September now, we are having 4 workshops, right, to deal with 4 different topics pertaining menstruation. We are going to talk about menstruation and the disabled girl. We are going to talk about menstruation and the workplace. We are going to be talking about menstruation products and accessibility, and we are going to be talking about menopause and me. is another topic, which is, as important as when you are actively menstruating. There's a lot of taboos with active menstrual women, but it's also a lot of taboos associated with menopause.
Yes.
A lot of things that people consider that after you get into menopause, uh, yes, you have changes in your body, just like and in your moods, just like when you are an active woman still with your period. But all of this is things that we have to face it. We can no longer hide behind the curtain, behind the excuses, behind the rejection, behind the shame. It's part of life. It's part of being a woman, right? Having your
And
period is part of being a woman. Reaching at a point in your life where your period cease and now you are into menopause is part of being a woman. So, Carla, um, for the not so young folks, for those who already would have been into this menopause stage of life, what kind of message you have for them?
so I talk to women from babies all the way up because I feel like I've been on this journey for a minute. And like you said, there's so much taboo and false information and myths as it surrounds menopause, as it surrounds sexuality, as it surrounds a woman being a full person. There's so many things that we have. So we definitely, the first thing that we're doing is having conversations like these, having workshops where we sit down and we talked about menopause. Because I was scared of menopause because I heard so many stories about menopause that you're gonna go crazy, that this is gonna happen to you, all of these different things is gonna happen. And my menopause for every woman is different. The time that you go into menopause is different. How you feel is different. I still feel young and vibrant as any person that's menstruating. So I think it's us having these conversations and
Yeah.
having people that's not ashamed and to have these and to talk
Yes.
about your body, to talk about you. And there's nothing wrong with exploring your body. There's nothing wrong about learning you how you feel because you can tell. I know you're talking about the workshops, but you can tell when someone is ovulating. You can tell. I tell them you can tell. That's the time. And we're all adults on here. There's a time when you get horny. There's a time when you look for a fight. You have your feelings. You have your moods. You can tell in your discharge from your vagina. There's so many different things that you can tell. There's bodily changes that we go through when we go through menopause as well. These sharp pains in your breast. I mean, there's so much stuff that needs to be taught and then lessons that needs to be learned, and we need to come up. We got to step up. We can't depend on the men. We can't depend on the politicians. We can't depend on anybody. We got to do it for ourselves.
And that is why we have face it and fix it. We have to face it, ladies. Women out there who are actually looking at this life interview, share it. You still have time. You still have some more minutes, and I want you to start to put your questions. If you have any questions that you want Carla to answer, if you want any question that Shelly want to for Shelly to answer, if you have any question for me, please put it in the comment section. We want to hear from you. I want to officially invite you. I mean, it have been through all the campaign, in every single post in our campaign, we have that. And we are inviting you, woman, who out there, you young girl, you mommy who have a teen daughter who might not is yet seeing the periods, because as young as 9 years old you could start seeing your period,
Eight, eight,
right? And also
7.
weight, right? So you have to be in a position to have the conversations. You have to be ready to have the conversations, right? If you cannot have the conversation all for yourself, we are here to help you and to equip you to have those conversations. So go right now in the link and register for our 4 upcoming workshops that is coming on September, right? So from the first Thursday of September, the second Thursday of September, the third Thursday of September, and the last Thursday of September, we are going to be talking about menstruation and the disabled girl. We will be talking about menstruation and the workplace. We are going to be talking about menstruation products and the accessibility. We are going to talk about menopause and me. And please go in that link right now and secure your spot. You don't want to miss it. It's via Zoom, right? So you will register, you will get a reminder. We have powerful presenters, from the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurse Association, which is part of this campaign as well. We are going to also have Karla coming and address us as well. We are going to be talking about all of these things. We want to hear from you. We are doing this for you, right? So let me just send some more greetings here. We have here Elizabeth Francis. Elizabeth, thank you for being with us tonight. Elizabeth say a very important topic that affects so many young girls and women is period pain. Wow, and this is true. Period pain and how it affects your school life and work life.
Yes.
It's something really to behold, period pain. And this is where I'm talking in the last broadcast about what governments have to do to really, take that into consideration. We have our awesome next co-founder of Women on Media and Education Network, Jimmy S. Hoyt. Jimmy, we are missing you. We're sending greetings to her. And Jimmy said, blessing night to all speakers. Jimmy also and say that exactly, it's not just about saying this in a platform, but it takes real action. I
Yes.
am agree with that. It takes real action. This is why these workshops are so important. And I want you to share that workshop link with every single woman that is going to benefit actually from these teachings. So let me put it up again. It's in our comments. Is menstruation and the disabled girl, menstruation and the workplace, which is a very hot topic, menstrual products and their accessibility, that we know that, trust me, for those ladies that have to buy periods, is close to a rent, somebody told me the other day, right? And it's the accessibility. We really have to bring ideas to the forefront so that we could be your voice. Whatever your voice cannot reach, but we could do that on your behalf. And then we are going to talk about menopause and me. So Carla and Shelly, I want, as we always do, I know we have been talking and you really, really have been giving us some helpful tips in between, right? But I want you to speak to those persons who are still holding on that taboo. And I'm talking about the women first. What would you tell a woman that still is fearful of talking about period, still ashamed of talking about period, that actually suffering from period issues or issues derived from period problems? Give us 3 tips of how we could really come out to the forefront and contribute to actually end period poverty.
Um, I would say first defining what period poverty is, acknowledge it, and then it comes all the way back to hello, BeaYoutiful. You know, recognizing and understanding it's something difficult to actually put into three things real quickly, Lucia, because when our mindset is one way, is how can we work with that individual to help change their mindset and to see themselves as a wonderful creature who brings value to any circumstances. Because teaching them how being a woman and having a menstrual cycle is such a natural part and beautiful part of God's creation. Hey, you're beautiful. You were created by God. What your body goes through, no one else does. Even the animals. People don't know that dogs menstruate. And I'm not saying that we are dogs or anything like that, but I'm just saying that it's natural.
Natural.
And really teaching them from, and it's better when you get them from young, when you talk about, hey, it's a process. What I did for me was when my young daughters came in the bathroom when I was in the toilet, and I remember my oldest was like, oh, you're bleeding, you're gonna die. I started her education right then and there. I didn't go in depth, but I made it where she could understand. So I'm simplifying it so they can understand. Letting them know that it's a natural part of God's creation. And that's what makes them unique. That's what makes them beautiful. So I would start. That's how I would start.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carla. I mean, you have so much wealth of knowledge, plus your experience, that put together with your passion. And the icing in the cake is that is your calling. That is your, I believe that is your God's given purpose, and I really thank you so much for bringing that forth, right? So we want to hear from Shelly. Shelly, you are younger than us. I want you from your perspective, still being a young,
Your person.
younger person than us.
Yeah.
What do you tell
Yes.
the ladies?
Right, right. It's nothing to be ashamed about. Like, hello, beautifuls. This is life. Accept it. It's nature. It is nature's way of speaking to you about your health and everything. Childbearing wise, your health wise, and it also helps even the men to understand what's going on. It helps us to understand our fertility phase, what's going on if we have fibroids, polycystic ovary. So menstruating is nothing to be ashamed about because even the men benefit, the older women, the younger women benefit from it, even the doctors, because when you go to the doctor with any gynecological issue, one of the things they may ask you, when last you saw your period? You understand? So it is an important part of your life. So it's nothing to be ashamed about. Be proud of it. And if you find that you're still encountering a lot of what you call it, maybe you're feeling afraid to talk about period, and the people that you surround yourself with, they're uneducated when it comes to period, and you may need to educate them, or maybe they're not worth being around if they're going to make you feel uncomfortable about something that you did not bring onto yourself, something that was given to you, so you had no choice, right? So just understand that it's a part of life. It's nature's way of speaking to you about your health, and embrace it. And once you get there and you understand, and what helps to make your period phase a lot easy, it's getting the right products to use, the accessibility and the right products, because boy, oh boy, I have experienced an experience, because I don't want to give away too much. I just want to wait until the right time or when I'm prompted. I have experienced the product that has made my period much more bearable and enjoyable. Like, I can live life normal.
Shelly, I am giving you this prompt. Don't go too far. because that is going to lead us to another phase, another stage of this Hello Beautiful campaign. But one of the blessings that Carla would have sent, Shelly, I don't know if you have it close by, but if you have it close by, you could grab it. One of the things that Carla would have sent for this campaign actually is something called menstrual cups. I have to be honest, I never knew about these menstrual cups. And when Carla sent it, I was like, Carla, how are we going to do that? She said, education. So, what we did as strategy, we prepared the period kit for the influencers, and we encourage the influencers to actually use every single thing in that period kit. You know, Shelley is going to give just a little bit of the testimony because we really tied with this testimony because it will take us to a great, amazing campaign that will forever change the way that you handling period. Shelley.
This right here has changed my life completely. This has changed my life completely. I have become a pro in how I fold this and insert it. And it's like no more granny panties, those kind of things. Girl, your girl can live life, no spillage, and I can just put on my regular underwear, get out there, and don't have to worry about anything. This perfect.
That is it. So
This is
that's what
it.
we just wanted to put that little bit of curiosity on you. And if you have never heard about menstrual cups, right? If you have never heard about period cups, I want you to start doing your research now because guess what? We have some period cups to actually give away. I heard of some amazing ladies who have been using it, and I like where I was all this time, where this thing was all this time. And some people saying it's pricey, but guess what? In collaboration with the Born Educators Academy, we have in our possession period cups. We have in our possession period cups, different sizes of cups, because I never knew that there are thin period cup sizes, there are small period cup sizes, there are regular sizes. Good night, Charlene. I never knew that even if you have never had sex for the first time, the sizes of period cups that you could use. And Shelly is not a shame at all. Shelly have broken all the taboo because it's all about education. We have a question for you, Shelly. Marlene asking question. Add that to insert. Answer that question, Shelly.
I didn't hear the question clearly. Can you repeat?
I have it in the screen. Question. Add that to insert. If it's that to insert.
Yes, it was. No, if it was difficult to insert, no.
No, she want to know if you have to insert
Yes.
My internet. Let me see.
the
Yes.
color. You could
Oh.
Yeah, she has inserted. She showed you, Shelly, hold it up and show them.
Shelly hold it.
Yeah. How you insert it. Show them how to insert it.
So there are many different ways that you can fold it to insert it, right? So I found, I believe it's a 7 or a half C. I don't remember the shape. And what I will do is just like fold it down right there and then hold it together. like make sure it's whole. So I have like a shovel kind of part to enter, and I just make sure and get myself in a comfortable squatting position. And I like to do this when I'm in the shower so it's not messy. So I get this done, inserted it right up, and make sure
Shelly,
it's
time is up. Shelly, time is up. So, Marlene, you have to stay tuned. Marlene, you have to stay tuned to what is coming. You know, the continuation of the Hello Beautiful campaign. Ladies, I love this session. I love this episode. Carla, thank you so very much for trusting in Women on Media and Education Network. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Thank you for so much for that phone call. I'm Shelly. I really thank you so much for being an amazing influencer. We also had in our campaign, we have Leah. Leah is also one of the influencers. We have some coming up. Charlene Cudjo, you will see Charlene Cudjo. We also had a teenager from our Spanish community. And I mean, this have been an awesome campaign. The social campaign will end on the 31st, and then September we continue on the campaign with the workshops. Again, please share the link. The link will be there in the comments. Share the link with all the the women that you know, right? Is menstruation and the disabled girl, menstruation and the workplace, menstrual products and their accessibility, menopause and me, 4 workshops that will be done by the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurse Association that are also part of this campaign, and time is on us. Thank you so much for being an awesome audience. Remember to share this live with others. Come back and look at it again. We are going to have a recap. You could also visit our YouTube channel. We have all our interviews in our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, and let's break the taboo. Let's eradicate period poverty. Thank you so much, Carla. We love you. I'm Shelly. I love you, tongues. And bye bye. Have a blessed night.